A federal immigration operation in Minneapolis turned deadly, and now the nation is demanding answers. Fatal IC shooting of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis ignites national outrage. Minneapolis. The fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, an American mother of three, by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agent during a federal enforcement operation in Minneapolis has sparked widespread protests, political conflict, and intense scrutiny of federal use of force policies. What happened? On January 7, 2026, federal immigration agents were conducting a large-scale enforcement operation in a residential Minneapolis neighborhood when an encounter between officers and Good escalated. Footage widely shared on social media shows government agents surrounding Good's SUV as a vehicle is stopped in the street. Officials can be heard shouting commands for her to exit the vehicle. As the SUV began moving, first in reverse and then forward, an IC agent drew his firearm and fired multiple shots into the driver's side, striking Good. Her vehicle continued briefly before crashing into parked cars and street obstacles. She was taken to a hospital, where she died from her injuries. The agent involved has been identified in court records as Jonathan Ross, a long-serving ICE officer. Federal officials have said he was treated and released from a hospital after the incident. Conflicting narratives. Federal officials versus local leaders. The federal government has defended the shooting, with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Vice President J.D. Vance asserting that the agent acted in self-defense after Good allegedly weaponized her vehicle and posed a threat to officers. Noem described her actions as an attempt to kill or cause bodily harm, while Vance blamed political rhetoric for endangering law enforcement. However, local officials and video evidence have sharply contradicted that narrative. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz have rejected federal claims of imminent threat, calling the shooting reckless and unjustified. They also criticized the decision to limit Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension (BCA) participation in the investigation, which has since been taken over solely by the FBI, heightening concerns about transparency. Who Renee Nicole Good was. Good was a 37-year-old mother of three, described by family and friends as a compassionate and loving person. She had a 6-year-old child she had just dropped off at school before the incident and 2 older children. Her mother remembered her as someone who took care of people all her life. Social media photos and on-scene imagery showed personal items and children's belongings inside her vehicle after the shooting, underscoring her role as a parent and community member. Video footage and eyewitness accounts. Multiple bystander videos capture the moments before and after the shooting. In one clip, agents can be seen shouting at Good and attempting to open her car door before the shots are fired. Eyewitnesses told reporters the vehicle posed no imminent threat when the agent opened fire, suggesting she was trying to leave the scene rather than attack officers. A use of force expert who reviewed the footage stated the shooting appeared to violate accepted law enforcement standards, noting that deadly force against a moving vehicle is typically only justified when an officer reasonably believes there is a threat of serious harm. Public reaction and protests. Outrage quickly spread across Minneapolis and beyond, with protesters gathering at the site of the shooting, holding vigils, and demanding accountability. Thousands turned out as snow fell, placing candles and signs in memory of Good and calling for an end to aggressive federal enforcement operations. Critics have derided the federal response, citing incidents like a Department of Homeland Security officer caught on video kicking over a memorial candle for Good and making profane remarks, actions that deepen community anger. Political and legal fallout. The incident has added fuel to the larger national debate over federal immigration policy, law enforcement authority, and racial justice. Legislators, civil rights groups, and community organizations have called for independent investigations and revisions to federal use of force standards during immigration enforcement. Governor Walz has even considered deploying the National Guard if tensions escalate further, urging peaceful protests while seeking justice and accountability. Looking ahead, with an FBI-led investigation underway and political tensions escalating, the future of this case remains uncertain. What is clear is that the killing of Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen and mother, has become a flashpoint in discussions over how federal agencies conduct enforcement and how communities can hold them accountable for the use of deadly force. The controversy highlights deep divisions in public opinion about immigration enforcement and law enforcement's role in civilian communities, and it's likely to reverberate nationally as calls for policy change grow louder in the coming weeks. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment below.